canal, soy Carla y hoy les traigo un video muy especial porque pude entrevistar a Shelby Mahurin, creo que así se pronuncia su apellido, la autora de Asesino de Brujas, y en verdad la amo demasiado. No sé si saben, pero yo tuve la oportunidad de entrevistarla también para la feria, para el Festival de Autores de Santiago el año pasado, pero fue una entrevista por Zoom porque pandemia, y este año Ediciones Urano la trajo en persona, en físico, y me dieron la oportunidad de entrevistarla nuevamente y fue una experiencia maravillosa porque Shelby es una de las personas más amorosas que existe en el planeta Tierra. Es muy tierna, es muy entretenida, es muy carismática y en verdad yo la pasé de maravillas con ella. Y bueno, estoy haciendo esta pequeña introducción primero para contarles eso y también para advertirles que el video no se escucha del todo bien. De hecho se escucha como el hoyo, y es porque nosotros estábamos en una sala, la entrevista se hizo en una sala y esta era como semiabierta, entonces se escuchaban los sonidos de las personas que estaban afuera de la sala, y habían hartas personas afuera de la sala, entonces se escuchan como muchos ruidos de fondo, y aparte se escuchan como los ruidos de las personas que estaban trabajando en este lugar, porque es un tipo de restaurante, el Castillo Forestal, entonces estábamos como cerca de la cocina, se escuchaba como lavaban la loza y todo, y más encima, en la mitad de la entrevista, llega un caballero, ni puta idea de quién, nos interrumpe la entrevista, y yo como, ¡aló! ¿Puede marcharse, por favor, caballero? Así que fue una experiencia, totalmente una experiencia, pero Shelby un 10 y la pasamos muy bien. Y nada, en verdad la entrevista no es tan larga, dura 10 minutos, pero la pasamos bien con Shelby, o por lo menos yo la pasé bien, que estoy asumiendo que ella la pasó bien. Pero eso, espero que la disfruten mucho. Y nuevamente muchas gracias a Ediciones Urano por darme esta tremenda oportunidad. Hola, bueno, soy Carla, bienvenida a mi canal. Acá estamos hoy día con Shelby, la autora de Asesino de Brujas, y le voy a estar haciendo unas cuantas preguntas, así que nada, eso. We're gonna start.
Okay,
So, favorite book?
Cersei, Madeline Miller.
That's your favorite book?
I love it.
Why is it your favorite book?
Oh, it's so like rich and like emotional, and her prose is just beautiful. It's simple, but it still like draws out every drop of emotion that you have. Right?
Yes.
Yes. And also, you know, women in power.
Yes. We love women in power. Which was your favorite book to write?
Oh, Gods and Monsters.
Why?
Because I took everything that I loved from Serpent and Dove and everything that I learned with Blood and Honey, and I combined them with Gods and Monsters. So it's still fun, but it's like craft-wise really strong too.
Are you satisfied with the story?
Yes, absolutely.
That's amazing.
Yes.
So, if Lou and Reed existed in this world, what profession would they have?
Oh my god. How do I answer this quickly? Reed would be some sort of civil servant, right?
Yes,
he would. And Lou would... What would Lou do? She would like work in a bakery.
Definitely,
yeah,
I can see that, I can see that. What hobbies would they have?
Okay, so Reed would read, obviously.
Okay,
he would like to read,
yeah.
Lou would probably be all about TikTok.
Yes,
she would be all about
yes,
TikTok.
She would do know the trends.
Yeah, she and Coco would do it, and they would make Reed do some, I think.
I think so.
Bo would try to get in on it, and be like, no, Bo, not this one. He'd be like, come on.
And were you obsessed with any particular song while writing these books?
Yeah, so the anthem, I have two anthems for Serpent and Dove, and the first one is Take Me to Church by Liz Coast.
Yes.
And the second one is Heathens by 21 Pilots.
Good songs, good songs.
So one is for Reed and one is for Lou.
Reed is
Take Me to Church.
Yeah. And do you have a favorite book couple, but not from your books?
Oh my god. I really like Reese and Feyre.
Oh, you like Sarah J. Maas and
I
actor?
do,
Okay.
I do.
She loves them. She loves it.
Yes.
If you couldn't write fantasy, what would you write?
Historical romance.
Oh, historical romance. Okay.
Or paranormal, does that count?
Yes, that counts.
One of those two.
Okay. And I heard that Serpent and Dove is Outlander fanfiction.
Is
that true?
Yeah.
Is it Jamie? How does it work?
Yeah, so I mean that's where the original idea came from.
Okay.
I was watching season 2 of Outlander, and Jamie calls Claire the Dommage in France. In Paris, and I was like, that's really cool, what is that? And so I went and I looked it up, and obviously I loved what I found. Yeah, and I wasn't like I have a very obsessive personality, so I was binging Outlander when I got the idea for Serpent and Dove, and I was
as you should.
Yeah, and Jamie was just like, oh, you know,
so
I was like tall, red hair, that's Reed. Yep.
That's great. That's great.
I feel like I shouldn't be admitting this these days, but that's okay. Tell all.
That
telling
love you more because of that.
Thank you.
Do you have a favorite TV show? Is it Outlander?
I love Outlander, but my favorite TV show is probably The Office or The Vampire Diaries.
I love The Office
I
so
do too.
much.
It's so funny.
So, do your characters have middle names? Or do they not?
No, they don't. What is wrong with me?
I just wanted to
Sort of
know.
author. No, I haven't ever come up with middle names.
Do you have a middle name?
I do.
What's your middle name?
Ray, Shelby Ray.
Ah,
It's
I
a
love it.
very American,
So-
like almost
yeah.
Southern name, like Shelby Ray.
But
Yeah.
it's so cute.
Thank you. It was my mom's maiden name.
Okay.
So Ray was my mom's maiden name, and
Yeah.
they gave it to me.
Okay. Do you think you'd get along with your characters in real life?
Some of them. I think I would get along
Yeah.
with Lil Coco and Saley really well. I think I would get along with Bo really well.
Yeah,
I
Bo's
think
great.
Reed would not like me.
He's so
He
serious.
is, and I'm like Lou. I would just
Yeah, you're like
poke,
Lou.
poke at him, but he already has Lou, so he's not gonna fall in love with me, you know.
Okay.
So I would just be annoying.
Yeah.
Like,
shut up.
Exactly.
Get out of here. Best snack for reading.
I love anything sweet. So would it be cliche to say a cinnamon roll?
That's so good. Describe a perfect day.
Oh God, I get to sleep in as late as I want, probably until 11. Without my kids waking me up, I get to go downstairs and eat some sort of pastry for brunch,
Yeah.
and then I get to read all day, undisturbed.
A very good day.
Yeah.
That's my perfect day
Yeah.
too. What song always puts you in a good mood?
Oh, this is hard. I have so many. Let's go with Anything by Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I love Taylor Swift. Here, I feel like I'm dressed like folklore.
Oh, absolutely.
It's
It's
the
the
cardigan.
cardigan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So, best and worst part of being a writer.
The best part is getting to do things like this. I
Oh,
get to meet
so
the
nice.
readers. Yeah, I love it so much. It's so fulfilling. And the worst part is writing under a deadline.
Yeah, okay.
I
the
can't
stress.
do it. Yeah, I am a really slow writer, so if you put a deadline, like it has to be done by this day, I can't do it. I can't do it. I like get choked up at my keyboard and the words don't come, and I never, ever turn anything in on time. I'm so sorry to all the editors if you're watching this. It's a character flaw. I apologize.
We forgive you. We forgive you for that. So, how long does it take to write a book? Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, it varies. I wrote Serpent and Dove in like 6 months, which is the fastest I've ever written a book.
6 months.
Yeah.
That's pretty fast.
I wrote it on Wattpad, so I
Yeah.
was like writing a chapter a week and like posting it, and I was also writing late at night, and there was no pressure at
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
No pressure. I got to do whatever I wanted to do, you know. It takes me much longer to write a book. I have more kids too. I mean,
Yeah,
that
the 3
adds
kids.
to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Do you have a favorite boy band?
One Direction isn't together anymore, but
No,
I
it's
love
not.
them.
Yeah,
I
we
love
love them.
them. My husband and I we constantly argue about whether NSYNC or Backstreet Boys are better. I'm an NSYNC person, and he's a Backstreet Boys person.
I think I'm a Backstreet Boys.
No!
I'm sorry to betray you.
Betray.
What book has made you cry the hardest?
Oh man, have you heard of His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman?
No. These are materials. No.
It was sort of middle grade, but it was fantasy, and I read it when I was younger. And the ending of the last book, I think, is the Amber Spyglass.
Okay.
Just fucked.
Really?
I mean, it was the worst sort of ending because, like, are you gonna read it?
And no problem.
No, okay, so I'll just
can
tell
spoil
you,
me, yeah.
if you're gonna read the books, don't watch this part. It's like the lovers they are separated forever.
Did you not get to be together?
No, they didn't, because they're from different worlds, right? And so the guy has a knife. It's called the subtle knife, where he can cut in between worlds, and like that's how he ended up in her
Oh,
world,
that's so
and
cool.
how they ended up meeting. But every time that you tear between worlds, like specters are released, and they're these like horrible, they like suck out your soul, kind of like Dementors, yeah.
Okay.
And so in the end, he has to go back to his world. She has to go to hers. They have to sew up all of the rips between the worlds, and then he has to destroy the knife, so they
That's
can
so
never see each
sad.
other again.
That's a
I know. I was like, what are you doing? What was the choice that was made here? Like, oh, it was awful. I sobbed. I threw the book across the room.
I would have done the same
it's
thing.
so bad. I mean, I still love those books, but I just can't get to the ending because it
That's
wrecks
so
me.
sad. And your favorite book, is it Circe?
Yeah, seriously. I also love Accordance and Fury a whole lot.
Okay.
I mean, I have so many.
Book you would recommend to non-readers?
Twilight.
That's a good book to start.
Is that a book that non-readers, they like got a lot of people reading. Is Twilight? Yeah, I would recommend that book, and also A Court of Mist and Fury. I feel like that one is really addictive.
Yeah, they're really
addictive
addictive books.
Yeah.
And book you would recommend to fantasy lovers?
Cersei, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That's fantasy. Yeah. I'm not like a huge like epic fantasy person. I haven't read Lord of the Rings.
Okay, I haven't either.
It's just it gets a little too dense for me. I haven't read Game of Thrones either, but I mean.
But like fantasy with romance.
Fantasy with romance.
Like your kind of fantasy.
Yeah. So all of Adrian Young's books are fantasy and romance. Yeah. And
like Fable.
Yeah, Fable. And I really love Sky and the Deep.
Yeah,
it's enemies to lovers. It's like Vikings.
Yeah.
And then also I would recommend Stephanie Garber's books. Fantasy romance.
Oh, she's not here. That's so
I know,
sad.
it is sad, but check those out if you love fantasy romance. Yeah, they're very whimsical and fun.
Do you work on multiple books at once, or do you just focus on one?
I can't work on more than one book.
Yeah, it's so hard. I think.
Yeah, it takes me forever to get into like the mental headspace for even one book. So I can't like switch gears.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So I have 2 more books. Do you have any tip for people that are writing a fantasy book? What tip do you have for them?
Yeah, just writing in general, really, is what I have 2 pieces of advice. The first one is to treat writing like a job, not a hobby. Because everybody else is going to treat it like a hobby, which means that you don't have to do it, like you can put it off or whatever. No, if you want to be a writer, you need to write. You don't have to write every day. I don't write every day, but you have to make time to write. You prioritize your writing, and in doing so, you prioritize yourself, because in order to publish a book, you have to first write a book. You have to finish a book. Otherwise, you literally cannot move forward. You have to finish your book. So that's my first piece of advice. And my second piece of advice is, I don't know how well it translates, but to find what you love and to lean into it. Embrace it. Don't hide from what you love. If you love romance and you love tropes, write them. You know? Don't
just
worry.
Do it.
Yeah, don't worry about people thinking less of you because of what you love. If you love world building, if you love epic fantasy, go for it. Create your own language, you know? Make a whole economic system. Like, do the things that you love in your writing. Because if you love it, there's a chance that someone else will love it too. And beyond that, readers can tell when you love what you're writing.
Definitely.
It translates.
The passion,
so,
you can see
exactly.
it. Yeah.
So
that's a nice advice.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hola, ¿entran de nuevo?
¿Ah?
¿Entran de nuevo?
No, creo que no.
Ah,
Interrupted. Are you true?
no.
That's so sad. So my last questions. What can you tell us about your new book, The Scarlet Veil?
Mm-hmm.
The Scarlet Veil.
Yes.
Right? Any tropes we should be?
Oh, absolutely.
What tropes?
It's well, first of all, it's following Saley, and I pitched it earlier, but I'll pitch it again.
Okay, you can do that.
So there's a murderer in Cesare. I feel like that's in The Office, right?
Yes.
In one of the episodes, he's like, "There's been a murder."
Yes.
There have been a series of bodies of magical creatures drained of blood in Cesare, and so we have a serial killer on our hands, and Saley takes it upon herself to discover who the serial killer is, and in doing so, she is whisked away to the heart of a vampire lair.
Vampires! Oh my god!
Where she captures the attention of a very hot vampire king.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so some of the tropes.
Is it
you'll see.
enemies to lovers?
Enemies to lovers.
Oh my god, yes,
Absolutely,
yes.
absolutely. And it's also, I mean, it's hard because it's a lot of the same tropes that are in Serpent and Dove, but it's
Those
so
are our
different.
favorite tropes.
It's so different than Serpent and Dove because the character, Saley's so different from Lou. It is still enemies to lovers. It is still opposites attract, but it's like the characters are so different that it feels different.
Okay.
But
yeah.
I mean,
and we love those tropes.
I
so
love
we
those
wanna
tropes.
see them.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No one's complaining.
Right.
No one here is complaining. So those are my questions.
Okay.
Thank you so much,
I
Shelby.
always have so much fun talking to you.
I always have so much fun talking to you.
Thank you for having me.
Muchas gracias por ver el video. Espero que estén muy bien y nos vamos a ver en un próximo.
Bye.